Where is the data? And they are very much interested also on working with us to generate data, to prove all these good things that we talk about IMO. I have my doubt, the investment is high, then not many very poor families may implement this, but for medium-sized farmers, okay. Challenges and solutions. Where are the solutions? That is the most challenging question that we get. I'm introducing to this course, and I'll go. Then the answers of potential solutions will be, I hope, given for the ones who are coming here later in this course. But I don't want to joke more on that. I think we have talked about some topics. We have some experience from other parts of the world that we are very much open to share with pig producers in Uganda. We are producing our own information also in Uganda with our partners, because we need to understand properly all these things to come out with good solutions for these challenges that we have. We have talked about, for example, the need for organizing farmers, to negotiate. I know that is one of the most biggest challenges. And with all the years of experience that I have with this great deal, that is not my field. But I know that there are other people who are good organizers of groups. But if you don't work as a group, you will be, as the lady said, cheated by somebody else. You don't have negotiation ability. We know, for example, that here in Uganda, many producers, now this is my field, many producers use sweet potato vines, cassava leaves, jam leaves to feed the pig, even napier grass, elephant grass. And I don't think you are taking good advantage of those feed resources. Those are good feed resources, particularly sweet potato vines, cassava leaves, jam leaves, are good food resources, good feed resources, but they can be used a lot better. First of all, for example, the work we did in Vietnam and China was to prepare silage with sweet potato vines. Then, even though that you have sweet potato vines only 2-3 months in a year, you can use the whole year because you preserve it. And we are doing that work now in Masaka at Kamuzinda Farm with one of our PhD students. In cassava, for example, the use of cassava leaves is not a new story. In the 80s, when I was as young as I am now, okay, I work on cassava leaves. And I found, for example, a very simple thing. You harvest the cassava leaves, you take the leaves. One first thing I learned was, if I take the leaves, the roots, every 3 months, the root yield doesn't change. What changes is the diameter of the tuber. Then, if you are interested in selling to the market, don't take the leaves as frequently, because you will not get enough good quality tubers, but you can get the same yield. Okay? But the other thing is, cassava leaves as a toxic. It has a toxic. Yeah, that is hydrocyanic acid is released. But the point is very simple. If you cut the cassava leaves, don't feed it immediately. Feed it, if you cut in the morning, start feeding in the afternoon. Because if that happens, when you cut, start releasing the toxic. Okay? Then, when you feed your animals, the toxic is not around. There are many other things that we know that we can apply. Yeah? And the other thing is, cassava leaf is high in protein, but lacks energy. Yeah, and it's not. The other thing is, it's not only it's high. There are some what we call amino acids that are missing there. Then these premixes can help. Okay. Then there is a lot of things to do in pig production, and I think some of my colleagues will discuss some of these things, but for sure, our commitment with Uganda for researching pigs and pork safety is not for 3 years. We plan to stay here for at least 10 years, and I think now that we know each other, we can work together in many other things. The weighting of the animal. I'm going to try to shorten a little more, yeah? But, we have been working on several measurements of the pigs to predict the weight. You know, we weigh and we measure. And then we do some funny things with the computer and we get something that we can help you to predict. And it works. I did this before with the native cattle from Vietnam, you know, and we produce a tape, and we distribute to the poor and sell to the medium size, and they were using this instead of having a weighing scale. And the point is, once you have the knowledge of how much your pig weight, you can negotiate with them. Okay? Because the problem is, we have been doing all these studies with asking farmers, and when they talk, oh, they gave me 10,000 per kilo. But in the market, the kilo is not 10,000. The kilo of pork is not 10,000. You know, but when you have the animal, about 50–60% is something that you don't sell. And the real carcass is, let's say, 60% of the food. The traders knows it very clearly. They have learned by heart. We will be, I'm sure that we are going to be producing more, and we are going to have materials for training to be available. We are going to be training some colleagues on all these things that we are learning together. You mentioned about partnerships. For us, it's very important. We are about to start 2 new sites. And we cannot say Gulu will be, but I think Gulu is a strong candidate. You mentioned the potential for exploitation. And it is true. It is true. You have potential. I hope that the things in South Sudan cool down, you know, and then things will become, that market will be very convenient for Uganda. But, you know, Chris can tell you the story. People from Rwanda came to buy pigs here. You have the market in Congo. And the internal market in Uganda is huge. Yeah? Then there are many opportunities, I think, for pig production. And we will be very glad to work with all of you on finding better options for you as people. As we say, we basically are targeting the poor smallholders in the rural or the very urban areas. But many things that we can do with the poor can be applied by medium-sized farmers. Some of the things on feeding, some of the things on animal health are even easily applied by medium-sized and by the small. Thank you very much, and I hope that you have a very good experience these 2 days. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Doctor, and also you for listening. We have had a slight change in our program. Now, Salongo Sevanga will come after a short breakfast, meaning just after right now, if it is there, we shall go for a short break first. Now the facilitators shall brief the media because they want to go for other programs where they have to go. They have
Now you are with a team of England. I saw you at the distance there. Oh, it's a big deal.
Doctor, would love you to talk us through the statistics you've given. You've said Uganda is one of the countries with the fastest growing population of pigs. Can you explain to us more about this?
Yeah, it's the fastest in Africa. As you see, for example, I was telling about the 1980s. The population was only 190,000. At the late 1970s, 190,000 in the whole country. Now, depends what sources you take of information. The last census of Yupos, 2008, it says 3.4 million kids in Uganda. Okay? It continues growing. But you know, that's in the population of pigs, it's very, very dynamic. Because also you have an outbreak of African swine fever, then many pigs either die or are slaughtered. Yeah? But in general, we estimate that now you at least have 3.5 million pigs.
And you did say that the consumption rate is also high.
Oh, okay, definitely. No? I would say the non-Muslim population of Ugandans love pork. No? It's very when somebody invites you for something special, they will give you pork. No? Then the statistics from FAO, the Organization for Food and Agriculture. Statistics says that the consumption of pork in Uganda reached in 2009 3.4 kilos per person per year. Of course, there are people in Uganda that might be eating 10 kilos per year and others who are not eating any, right? But the average is 3.4. This is higher than Kenya, higher than South Africa, than many countries in Eastern Africa and Southern Africa. You have the highest. I would always joke, at least you beat South Africa in the consumption of pork by 100 grams.
Doctor, your father indicated that throughout Uganda we have only one abattoir for pigs. Can you
one official.
Can you tell us more about this?
Yeah, I have visited that abattoir. For cattle you have more, but for pigs it's only one busy. And I think Mr. Simon Lubega will be coming here.
Where is it located?
Here in Kampala. Nalukolo.
What does this mean for consumers of pork?
Yeah. First of all, you know, once you slaughter an animal, if you want to be on the safe side, you have to have veterinary inspection. Okay? Then if you have an abattoir, you can have, KCCA, for example, has a person assigned there to check the carcasses. But if you are slaughtering in the backyard of the house, somewhere else somebody's doing, who is going to check those things? Then even the butchers need to be organized. If they are organized, like they are doing this in Kamuli, for example, they are going to have a slaughter slab. In Gulu, I have seen the same. In Gulu, there are two places where they slaughter the animals. I guess the majority of the animals. No? And then the veterinarians come and check. Then that is the advantage of having a central location where you can slaughter your animals.
Should we presume that the people who consume pork might be consuming contaminated pork?
You know,
those are the areas where they slaughter.
No. Be careful with what you can say. I want to be careful as well, because when I came here in 2012, there were several articles in the Daily Monitor, in the Red Pepper, talking about, in the Red Pepper was one title that says, if you eat pork, you will get mad. Then I said, oh, I need that one to get mad. I need to be mad, you know. No, but I'm just joking. But the point is, it's not necessarily true. No, informal markets are very common all over the developing world. For example, for milk, for pork, for everything. Then the point is, you can buy a piece of pork that is not very clean, okay? But if you cook it properly, most of these problems will be controlled. And as I told in the presentation, Ugandans love overcooked pork, overcooked beef. In other places, for example, in Ethiopia, if you go some places for beef, you can get raw beef, and you eat raw beef. Yeah. Then, in that case, if there is no proper management of the slaughtering process, you have more risk to be contaminated, right? Yeah. Then we have to see the whole processing up to the table, up to the dish. Yeah. Then we are trying to generate evidence. We are evaluating. We are taking samples at different levels to really generate evidence of what are the risks and hazards on consuming pork in Uganda.
Talk us through the challenges this sector faces. You did mention about African swine fever and the Kenyan market taking over Ugandan market, despite the fact that Uganda has the biggest population.
Yeah, you know, for example, in the case of feed, we know that many feed producers in Kenya are coming to buy maize bran. But, you know, we are now in a globalized world. You know, that is not a big problem. Because, anyway, if people is organized demanding feeds, they can buy it, you know. You know, you don't think only on your small market at the country level. You know? We are talking at the end, we're saying, for example, you have opportunities for export to South Sudan, Rwanda, Congo, you know. But first of all, try to cover the local demand. Try to cover the local demand. Many of the pork and pork products that come from Kenya basically go to a sector of the population that can afford buying those things. But the majority of the people in Uganda who eat pork or pork products produced here. No? And I'm sure, you know, there are going to be changes in demand for protein sources. One, the growth of population. Okay? More people, more consumption, more demand for it. Second, once you increase your income, as I tell you, you are not going to eat more portion, you are not going to eat more matoke. You are going to go for fish, for chicken, for pork, for beef, whatever. The third thing, when people move from the rural area to the urban area, yeah? And there's a trend all over the world, including Uganda, people moving from the rural area to the urban area. you will see that in the urban area there is more consumption of animal protein sources.
What can Ugandan farmers do to revive the sector and probably have it grow more?
I think first of all, as I tell, people have to train themselves, have to get training. They have to learn a little more on how to produce better pigs. Okay, that is the first thing. And it's not the responsibility only of the farmers. You know, some farmers, like the ones attending here, they are coming to learn. It's their own decision. But also, the government has to arrange things to provide knowledge, provide information to them. Yeah? That is the first thing I would say. The first thing is knowledge in terms of technology, in terms of markets, you know, and these are the things that you many times are not easily available. But you know, for example, now, wherever I go, you know, you will find people who use the simple mobile phone. You know, and this simple mobile phone is an excellent opportunity for people, not just to talk to the girlfriend. No, it's an excellent opportunity to get information. There is, for example, one institution called Grameen Foundation working with the MTN, and they are getting information from the rural area, and they are sending information to the rural. There is another friend of Chris that I have not met yet, but I know him, from Nakaseke. He is working on this type of thing. And it's a very, it's not only to send money, to talk to the friends, it's not only for that purpose. You can send through text, you can access and text many things that you may not find in the, because you don't have access to internet. You send you get it.
Just one. Stephen from Daily Monitor. I presume all the farmers here would want to make a profit out of looking after pigs. And one of the comments I got from them when that they're not making, probably could substantiate for our audience.
You know, I think
farmers can make better profit.
I think you use at the end the right word, make better profit. Eh?
Okay.
Because you don't work in something and you don't work for many years if you are losing money, right?
Yeah.
At least you have to have a break-even condition. Eh? Then you can do more profit. That is the point. And it has so many things involved. Eh? For example, knowledge is one. How to produce better. How to reduce my cost of production. How to reduce my cost of production. If I buy everything, I may have less profit if I produce some of the food. Yeah, that is one thing. Then I believe that farmers who have crops and animals, they can do better business. Yeah, than if I have to buy all the food. Control of animal health. How much people loses because of parasites, because of African swine fever, because of mange, because of anything that you can imagine. We don't have the data here in Uganda, but we want to generate this. But we know that if your animal is healthy, they can grow better, they can produce better. And many times, you know, the amount that you have to invest for animal health control is very little compared to the benefit that you can get. The other thing is you have to find where to sell the pig, and you negotiate properly. You know, I told you, we know people always complain. Eh? The money that I'm getting from my pigs is not the one I should receive. Yeah, it's true. Somebody else must be doing better business than you as a farmer, because what we know is that there is demand for pork, there is a market for the pigs, right? And people is paying is an important one. And I think it is, those are key things. And then finally, as I said, if people do not organize, is not empowered to negotiate. It happens in everything. And the other thing I would like to say and to see, and we are trying to promote it, is pigs are not a priority in the development programs of the government. And if we have more than 1.1 million households in Uganda producing pigs, I think pigs should be part of the priority. You know, when you have something that is not a priority, you do not get enough funds for research, for extension, and for so on. You know? For example, here in dairy is a priority. And you see that farmers who are producing milk, they have access to information. Now you have these collection centers in many places that facilitate marketing your milk. No? I dream that at a given time, in not many years' time from now, Uganda will have hubs, groups where farmers can come and get the services, sell their products, and so on. We are doing these things, for example, in Tanzania with milk. But we haven't done something like this in Africa in general. We have done some in Vietnam on that thing. And I think there are good opportunities there also that we have to and those will contribute for people to get more profit from this activity. Yeah?
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, thank you.
Yava mutima best quality feeds.
Kigeza sigenda kuwanvira bibuzo ngenda biddamu naye mwagala side ki mwagala luzungu Luganda byombi kati no tusooke kimu.
I think Uganda, English is first and then we can go to Uganda.
English first?
Yeah, let's
okay.
Go with English first.
Because in Uganda, this is mother tongue.
Mwenga wakola ebyokulisa ebisolo n'ebinyonyi mulimu guno mukusanze ntya naddala nga mukola mu balimi rather mu bantu abalunda ebisolo bino products zaabwe okusobola okubeera ennungi.
Kakati nze Robert Serwanga Salongo okuva mu mutima Best Quality Feeds nga tuli mu musomo guno ogw'okusomesa abalunzi engeri gye bagenda okufunamu nga balunda. Naye okusingira ddala obulunzi bwaffe buno obw'embizi bannaffe abalunda bakolesa nnyo ebintu byaffe ebya bulijjo, muwogo okuva ku nsiko, kutembuzi n'agisiba na buli kimu. Akati ffe tujja ne tukola emmere ey'enkoko nga ye emmere entabulire ddala manya emmere ey'embizi nga emmere entabulire ddala embizi gy'erina okulya n'ekuwa kyeyagala. Kale obuzibu bwe buli obusobozi bw'ekika ky'embizi kiri nti waliwo embizi esobola okuwa omubiri gwa gulamu 7 buli lunaku nga yeeyongerako gulamu 7. Wali endala esobola okuwa gulamu 5 buli lunaku ne yeeyongerako. Naye eyo embizi yeetaaga okuba nga efunye emmere eyeetaaga okusobola okuwa obuzito obwo. Kati bwe tugenda mu maaso tuzuwa ffe betuwa bisigaddewo awaka ebisiddewo. Kati embizi eyandikuwadde gulamu 5 olunaku nebanga ekuwa gulamu 10 olunaku. Noba nti ogenda kulunda embizi okitundire ku myezi 7. Embizi ezisinga weewereza omwezi ogwokuna yandibadde eri wa kilo wakati gateeka wansi wa kilo 9 naye genda ozinoonye ey'emyezi 4 ey'ekiro 9 bajja kugamba ayo miracle. Lwakuba abalunzi bamanyi nti embizi tebagiwa mmere. Ekikulu ekiriwo tekyogamba nti emmere bagiseera. Naye embizi ekwadde gulamu 5 olunaku eba yeetaaga kilo 2. Funa bulungi kilo 2 ez'emmere ez'ennusu nga 1,200 eby'emmere y'embizi. Naye gulamu 5 ebya kilo y'embizi hafu kilo ya sente mmeka?
Kyogamba okuwa ebisolo bino emmere egwanidde naddala nga temukoze yandibadde kulimu ku ddagala erimalawo mwami mukyayabweddeko kyobandi abasuubuzi abaza abalunzi b'ebisolo bino bafiirwa
ekyo limu ku kkubo naye ate tetugobaawo bino abantu bebongerako naye kyokola giwekerezaayo 2 esobole okuwafukiro oyongereko ebirala egiza olubuto byojje ku nsiko omuddo na buli kimu kijja kuba kisobola okujjawo obuzibu naye obuzibu bw'abalunzi bwe tusinga okuba nabwo kati kwetegeeza nga era ng'olwaleero kyekimu tugenda okutunuulira kwekola weka noba ng'otunda embizi emu oli ajja okugula embizi ayagala embizi 10 kyokka gwe waliwo emu era alina kuwa ssente ntono asobole okukwata ku transport oyo gwafiiriddwe okujja gyonereyo mu kyalo kati olwaleero tugamba omulunzi w'embizi agirunde bulungi naye ate yeegatte ne munne babe nga balina embizi akati tuliko naye ate ekikulu era kyetujjayo olunaku olwaleero abantu bano abalunzi baagala okulunda era bakukyagala naye obuzibu tewali magezi kati emisomo bwegiti gizze tusobole okuba nga omulunzi amanya kiki kyalina okukola era kikyasuubira okuva mu ddundiro lye kijja at farm level. 1, improving quality comes with a price. It means there should be market. But what we are aiming at is to equip a farmer with knowledge, whereby he knows how to feed, he knows how to find market, and he knows where to get information. Now, with the knowledge gap covered, productivity will go high. The other issue also is to join the researchers with the population. There's a very big gap. There's a lot of information in Makerere, there's a lot of information in research institutions which is not being used by the farmer. The consumer is the farmer who does not have it. So through these trainings, we want to bridge the gap between the researchers and the farmer down. And also, you know that another problem with Uganda is that there's an extension breakdown. The vets who used to visit are no longer there, not because they're not there, but because the areas supposed to cover are now wide, that they can even take a year without reaching your farm. So when the farmer is knowledgeable, he's going to seek for knowledge from where he needs to get it.
Talk about the need to work in groups.
Now the other aspect also is the grouping. In Uganda, we have a lot of suffer alone. If somebody's pig falls sick and dies, you say okay. But the farmers in Uganda must come to understand that the period of working alone and dying on your farm has stopped. Everybody is in integration. So the farmers should come together in associations, but this time not even just associations, but cooperatives, so that they can have the power to market, to make the price, to seek for services, and also to grow their businesses.
Well said.
Okay, one question.
Yeah.
What do you know, Dr. Musungu Chagambe? Nagamati in Uganda, government of the day, investing a move so I want you to clarify
on that in English? In Uganda?
Yeah.
Kituufu nti Uganda yemu ku nsi gye tumanyi erimu nnyo ebyobulimi n'ebyobulunzi. Naye ate gavumenti erina ebintu byekolako. Era ojja kwesanga nti byekolako birabise. Abali mu mata mu kirabye ekiriyo. Abali mu ppamba mu kirabye ekiriyo. Naye gavumenti tenasobola kutuuka ku ffe nga ab'enkoko, nga ab'embizi, gavumenti tenatutuukako kujja kuba nti tuteekerateekera program eyaffe ng'abantu abali mu bulunzi buno. Emabegakaawo gavumenti yali ekola enteekateeka yayo ey'emyaka 5. Naye mu nteekateeka y'emyaka 5 egijja mu maaso gavumenti gye yakola mu bulimi n'ebyobulunzi, era ojja kwesanga nti temuli nkoko, temuli mbizi, era ojja kusanga nti mulimu amata, mulimu abalimi b'ebirime nga kasooli nga ki. Naye ffe abalunda embizi, abalunda enkoko, gavumenti mu myaka gyayo 5 talina mu nteekateeka tuteekerateekera. Naye tugamba nti enkoko n'embizi bye bintu gavumenti byandibadde eyamba kubanga bitufunamu mangu. Kubanga omulunzi bwalunda enkoko mu wiiki 6 aba afunye ssente. Omuntu bwalunda embizi mu myezi 4 eba kilo 100. kintu ki mu Uganda ekiyinza okuwa ekiriisa nga kiri mu budde obwo. Nolwekyo gavumenti erina okuvaayo naffe abalunzi etuwa amaanyi era eggalewo emiwaato ekitulemesa okukola nga kasooli waffe agenda mulamba tetusigazawo kitulisa bisolo, eteekawo emiwaatwa ku bintu obutale bwe tutunuulira lufula. Tewali lufula emanyiddwa ya nkoko okuggyako abagina kisa kinoomu ey'embizi eri emu yokka ewambizi. So nga gino emirimu gy'egya gavumenti osobola okuba nga etuteerawo amakubo gano bwe tuyinza okuba nti omulunzi ayinza okugendayo n'afuna amagezi ate n'abakozesaawo okukulaakulana. Robert Serwanga.
Ensonga esookera ddala y'ensonga y'okuyigiriza abalimi engeri ennungi ey'okulundamu embizzi basobole okulunda mu nnunda ekola amagoba. Ensonga ey'okubiri y'ensonga ey'okuleetawo interaction oba enkwatagano wakati w'aba actors oba abantu bonna abali ku mulamwa ogw'okulunda embizzi, gamba abalimi, abasuubuzi, ba researchers abakola research ku mbizzi, abatunda emmere embizzi ze zirya n'ebintu ebyo. Gye buvuddeko emabega wabaddewo omuwaatwa munene wakati w'abantu bano era nga kireetera abalimi okukola loosi mu mirimu gyabwe, naye mu musomo guno eno bagenda kweyunga wamu, buli omu amanye ani akola ki. Bwe mba nina ekizibu kino nsobola kgenda waani, kino kisobola kutereezebwa kitya. N'ekintu ekyaki twagala okutunuulira ennyo kye kintu ky'omulimu guno okugufuula kamaasho. Kwegamba abalimi abasinga abalunda embizzi mu Uganda balimi batono. Abalimi bano abatini tusobola tutya okubazzaamu amaanyi? Tuli mu kutunuulira ekintu ky'okwegatta awamu ng'abalimi, ng'abalunzi b'embizzi. Tusobole okugonjoola ebizibu byaffe buli bwe biba bibaawo, kuba abantu abali awamu basobola okukola ebintu bingi okusinga omuntu alise kinnoomu. Amawulire agakwata ku mbizzi matono mu Uganda era guno gwe gumu ku misomo ogwebadde gwetaagisa ennyo era emitono egyakabaawo mu Uganda ku mulimu gw'embizzi. Saate embizzi ziwa emirimu amaka mangi kumpi $1,010,000 zisobola okuwa abavubuka emirimu okusinga okwekalakasiza ku street buli lunaku. So twagala tulabe engeri ki gye tuyinza okutereeza omulimu guno era kampuni gye nkolera ya Pig Production and Marketing Uganda Limited gwe mulamu omukulu era y'ensonga enkulu lwaki yateeseteese omusomo guno. Amanya nze Christopher
How many of you don't understand Uganda?
Okay.
Because we got to be very clear.
How many of you don't understand English? No. English, there were some. No.
Now, the owner or the driver of the registration number UAK, are you hearing me? UAK 673S. Go and relocate it. Someone wants to go away. You are blocking him or her. UAK 673S. Go and relocate it. That man is called Salongo Serwanga Robert. I have known him since 2008.
Relevance of commercial feeds to pig production in Uganda. That is the topic. You can reach me through Pig Production Marketing Uganda. You can also listen to my programs we put on radio, but mostly they're in Uganda. That is CBS FM. Every Wednesday.